Bonjour YouTube, welcome back to Talking Thursdays.
Today's topic is the weird things about living in France.
So one of the things that we find a little bit strange here is that you cannot buy over-the-counter medicine outside of pharmacy. You know, in other countries you can go to a store or supermarket and you can buy aspirin or paracetamol or something like simple like that. You can buy it in supermarkets. However, here you have to go to a pharmacy. Of course, there's no problem in going to the pharmacy because they're everywhere, literally. Pharmacies are everywhere in this country. But the strange thing is that you cannot find anything as simple as aspirin.
Another point that we find very strange in France is that you cannot buy weekly tickets after Thursdays. As you know, we live in Ile-de-France region, and Ile-de-France region you can get daily ticket, weekly ticket or monthly tickets. But if you want to get weekly ticket, you cannot get it after Thursday. How is that possible? We don't know it either, because we tried and we failed majorly.
Now we already have one episode on the subject of banking. So you should check it out, of course. Gonna put it up. But the reason why we include this point in this episode is because it's extremely strange. Credit cards don't exist here. The credit card here is like you just spend and then you have to pay the amount of money that you spent within a month. It's good, it's a responsible thing, but it's just strange. So it's not like a concept of credit cards everywhere else, I think, or in many places in the world. Another thing is your transactions with majority of the banks, they don't show up immediately. They could take several days, or they could take at least a day. You know, you don't usually receive an SMS when you spend. And this is at least what we've experienced with the banks here. If there is a bank that does it, please let us know. That would be great, you know, because that feature is really good. Like sometimes you have to wait for a while to see how much you've spent. So that's not really good for people who don't watch what they're spending and how much they're spending. Or like if you want to transfer money to a different account and you don't have the option of instant transfer, good luck. It will take a few days to reach you, you know, even if it's within Europe or within the same country, it takes time. So banking here is different and it's quite slow in many situations. So yeah, that we find it very strange.
In France, when you work, the company can provide you with ticket resto. What is ticket resto? Ticket resto is kind of money you can use in restaurants or in supermarkets like Carrefour. But the funny part about this ticket resto is that the price range is between 6 to 9 euro, but the allowance which you can use is 19 euro. What we don't understand is that even if you use 2 tickets, it won't make it to 19. So we don't know what's the logic behind this because it's very weird.
This only applies to residential buildings. It doesn't apply to villas, obviously, or houses. But the apartments, they are usually not numbered. There are no numbers on the apartments. At least we've not yet seen any. We haven't come to see any. And usually you would get an invitation to a house party or something, and they will tell you, okay, this is like, I don't know, Rue Rivoli 225, for example, floor number 4, and apartment second door on your left, for example, you know. So there is no number. You don't know. You don't know unless someone explains to you where to go. You don't have the numbers on the apartments, which I find to be so strange because it makes it so much easier to have an apartment number. You know, that way you know where you're going. But I don't know, there must be a reason. French people who are watching us, please, if you know the answer to this, can you let us know why there are no numbers on the apartments? Or if there are numbers on the apartments, where are those buildings? Because we haven't seen them yet. Or maybe there's a reason for it, I don't know.
Another point which I find it very strange is delivery, which deserves its own episodes. When you order something online, which is heavier or bigger, and if you want delivery guys to take the item up the staircase to your house, you have to pay them extra on top of the delivery fee, which is mostly 50 euro. You have to pay them extra. Even if it's for just one floor up, you need to pay them extra. Otherwise, they will just leave the items at the entrance. So you have to pick it up. If it is too heavy, you need to find someone to help you out. I ordered an item online and I was waiting for the delivery for several days, and at the end I got a notification saying that your items were delivered. I was like, how come I didn't even get anything? So I called up the customer service. I texted them on Twitter saying I didn't get anything, but on the system you just put the items were being delivered. They were like, don't worry, we will get back to you in 1 day. I was like, 1 day is too long. What if my item is being stolen? How would I know? How would you assure that my items will be in a good shape, good condition? And they were like, don't worry, we will get back to you in 1 day. It was a very fun experience. I was filming back then, but thinking about it now, it's just kind of weird because there was nothing I could do. But anyway, thankfully, I got my order next day. I guess my request on Twitter worked very well. I hope it doesn't happen anytime soon again.
This point is my favorite. Why? Because I find it to be very beautiful, and I think it should be more everywhere else in the world. People read a lot in France. A lot. There is a huge book culture here. To the point. Imagine this. TV channels, some of the news channels have an entire hour. Like one of the news channels here, it's got from 9 o'clock in the evening, it's got an hour for books. So literally they get one author every single day, and they invite them to talk about their book. I think it's amazing. You get on the metro, you see so many people reading, either small books, big books, it doesn't matter. You know, you would go to a park or a jardin and you will see people reading everywhere. And I find it to be so good. I find it to be amazing. It's a huge contrast to other places where we've visited and been. Some countries, they do have a similar reading culture, but I think France in particular, it's so noticeable. You see people read all the time. So this is a little bit weird for people who may not be coming from a place where people read a lot, but I think it's a really good point. So it's a good weird. It's a really, really good point. So read more.
Yeah.